So you're on your phone and you're scrolling for a little bit. Then you suddenly realize that you're scrolling and you want to close the app. But then for some reason, you open the app back up and you're back in the cycle of scrolling. And for the second time you realize it, you finally fully close the app, but then you just switch to another app to scroll. Has that ever happened to you? Because I don't think I'm the only person that does this from time to time. And it's something I'm very ashamed of. And it's kind of a reflection of how addicted I am and we are to our phones. And it's kind of made me despise tech a little bit, even though it's taken us so far from the early points of civilization. I think it's an over-reliance on technology and just the things that we have to make our lives easier. And our phones are not meant to be used all the time, every single day. They're meant to be used as tools. We use them to communicate better. We use them to work better. We use it to be more efficient. That is the end goal of technology. It is not to make us less efficient or to distract us, but to make civilization progress. I don't think anybody thinks that scrolling on their phones all day is gonna make civilization progress. So I'm not saying you have to cut out your screen time entirely, just cut out the bad part. Now how? How is the actual question? And there's actually a pretty simple solution. And that's just don't do it. Now obviously that's not the full answer. I kind of left it in as like a kind of joke. And I'm going to expand on that part. And here's a little thought experiment for you to do. I'm going to ask you to not think about elephants. Now, what are you thinking about? Probably elephants, right? And the point I'm trying to make here with this thought experiment is to tell you that the human brain is incapable of comprehending the negative. And some of you might have already watched this video from another guy. I don't even know what his name is. I'll try and find the video if I can and put it up or link in the bottom. But I find that to be a really interesting part of our psychology. We can't help but do things that we're told not to do. Even if we tell ourselves that we shouldn't scroll, we're going to be thinking about that scrolling thing. So the best thing you can do in your position to scroll less is just don't think about scrolling or your phone, period. But for me personally, what works best is to find other things to work on instead of the urge to scroll. If you have something else that your mind is already preoccupied by and you're already busy with your hands doing something, you're not going to have the capabilities to go grab your phone, sit down for hours and scroll, right? You're not even going to get started. And something for me personally that gets my mind off things really easily is just going out for a walk, right? I'll tell you a story about like 3 or 4 days ago. Now, if you can't see all that well, there is a scar on my face right here. And that happened about last Wednesday when I was in a swim practice and I accidentally flip-turned badly into another person and they kind of scratched my face, right? And so I was not exactly really mad by that, but just, felt kind of bad and it did kind of hurt. So that was partially another bad thing of the day. And another thing is, if you can see, part of my glasses also fell off, which also sucked. And those two things happened on the exact same day. And I was having a pretty bad day at that point, but at the time when I was walking back home, I was just kicking around snow. And that made me completely forget what I was even complaining about today. What was bad about today even. Because just going outside in a calming environment with snow in front of me, something to preoccupy myself with and to almost like play like a child again, took all my mental capacity because I didn't want to think about anything else besides what's in front of me because I found it so fun and entertaining. So here's what I need you to do because I want you to stay consistent. I want you to truly make a change for yourself after this video. You have to find something that you can do instead of the times you would do, or instead of the times you would normally scroll, right? Very common times. If you find yourself scrolling often at nighttime or right after school, for example, right? Find things to do during that time that replaces your scrolling time, as well as it's something that you just enjoy, right? Maybe go on nighttime walks. Well, right now might not be the best time because it's getting colder, but maybe you could bring out a book that you've always wanted to read and maybe you're a little interested in, right? Something like that. Find some hobbies and things that you just genuinely do and want to do for fun. It's not out of an obligation or it's not out of discipline or anything, but you just want to do these things for the sake of doing them, right? I wanted to kick around snow because I wanted to have fun. It was fun in my mind and I did. And the walk back home is typically 40 minutes, but it didn't even feel like 40 minutes. It was more like 20 or even 10. Time just passed so much faster when you have fun and you just enjoy yourself. So I hope that kind of helped you guys to understand phone addictions a little better, because something that I think really makes me not want to touch my phone as much is the thought that this tiny rectangle, metal rectangle, hold on, I don't even know where my phone is, but this tiny metal rectangle you're watching this on is basically controlling you when you're scrolling. You can't control yourself. The phone is controlling you. And in my opinion, I would not take that level of disrespect. Of course, respectfully, of course, all right? I find that doing some certain settings on your phone also kind of helps. For example, on the iPhone, I'll put up like a tutorial or just show you the steps here. But what's gonna happen here is that once you pick up your phone, it's not gonna immediately light up or turn on. You have to press the power button manually, and it becomes more of an active choice for you to make, right? It's not just an automatic reminder, oh, you should come here and do something on the phone, right? And another thing is to make your phone grayscale. And that just takes kind of the stimulation, or quite a lot of the stimulation, out of the phone and makes things kind of boring to watch, and it doesn't make you want to stay on the phone as much. I think those two things help quite a bit, but yeah, besides that, that's really it for this video. I try to stretch it out for a little bit longer. I do want my videos to be more content heavy and be more of things that actually help people, not just me yapping here, sharing a story that could be probably cut down by quite a bit. But that's about it for me. I do really appreciate you for watching to the end here, but just stay consistent, stay disciplined, and keep on doing the things that need to be done, all right? Just give me a kiss. Mwah.